Hello, friends.
Hello, everyone. We're glad you could join us once again, and we hope you have your cup of tea or a beverage that you're drinking along with us.
It's always wonderful to connect with you
Yes.
every week. And this week it's like officially spring. It's Beltane now, the season of Beltane, which is the cross-quarter days between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, which means it is officially spring
Yes.
now, which is it's a very exciting time.
It is, all the little nurseries and garden centers are open with all the pretty flowers, and the
Yeah.
bees and the butterflies are buzzing around them. It's really a fun thing to walk through those aisles.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, you definitely want to go to a place that does not spray
That's
the
right.
nasty pesticides on their plants because what we plant plants partially for the pollinators, right?
A lot of times they spray on like a preservative to keep them looking fresh longer, and we don't want that.
No, we don't want really anything sprayed on them
No.
at all because we want them to be good food for the pollinators.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we are excited about this week is National Herb Day, which is always the first Saturday of May. And of course, being herbalists and herbal teachers, we absolutely adore Herb Day because we think it's super important for people to be excited about herbs, to learn about herbs, and it's so important, we think, to incorporate herbs into our daily life, both for part of our food, to add nourishment to our food, and as our first line of medicine. That's very empowering to learn about how we can use certain plants to help support our good health. And when we use herbs for health, it's really much more of a holistic way of looking at things rather than suppressing symptoms, which is a lot of times what our Western medicine will do. And we're grateful for Western medicine and all that it has to offer. And there's room for other tools in the toolbox. And we believe that herbs are part of that for our well-being because they don't suppress symptoms. They really work with the body to promote healing, which is a little bit of a different mindset. And when we learn about herbs, we're very much becoming more connected to nature and the rhythms of nature. When we work as herbalists, and that's one of the things that I think when our students oftentimes say that they're surprised about, we're very much used to being able to, if we need something, we go to the store and we get it. And it doesn't matter if it's December, we can still get a tomato at the grocery store. And herbalism doesn't work that way. When we are working, especially in the spring, with fresh plants, there's just short windows of time to work with certain plants to gather them at the peak of their vitality, and so that we have them for the rest of the year to dry them or tincture them or whatever it is that we're going to put them in. Beyond connecting with nature and the cycles of nature, we are also connecting with our ancestral wisdom. No matter where our ancestors hail from, they partnered with plants for both food and for their health and well-being. And we really believe it's very important to connect with that ancestral wisdom. And we live in a time now where we have the benefit of both the ancestral wisdom and the scientific research. And so we want to make sure that we are taking advantage of both of those. And so, yay, National Herb Day. We love it. We hope you love herbs too. And if nothing else, if you don't spray your yard, at least eat the dandelions out of your yard. They are an herb and one of the most prolific herbs that we have available to us, and one of the best.
Yes, very nutritious.
Yes.
Well, this is also the week that the fairies come out.
Yes.
And if you're out there on a moonlit night, or just we're going between the day and the night, it's a great time to look for the fairies. And so when we're cleaning up, we want to leave just a little patch of some
Wild.
Yes, some wild for them to be into and to hide if they want to. Now, have you ever made a fairy garden? They're fun to make. They're just really a little bit of magic, especially if there's any children in your lives. It might be grandchildren, it might be your children, it might be the kids next door, whatever. Just put a little magic into their life also. Make a little fairy garden. I've made big fairy gardens. My sister had one probably 36 inches long across a doorway, hallway, and such. I've also used big granite dish pans for making a fairy garden.
I remember you doing one in a wheelbarrow one year.
I did one in a wheelbarrow, even an old antique wheelbarrow, which was the metal wheelbarrow. And that was great fun to do too. And so if I get around to it this year, and I hope I do, I've got a little pan. It's a granite pan, probably about 14 inches across. I just want to make a small little fairy garden for my table. And I think that would be a lot of fun to do.
I think
And
so too.
and it just kind of symbolizes that the fairies are out and to make us think maybe a little bit more about all the magic that happens within a garden.
Agreed. The magic in life and embracing the wild and making a space for the wild. I think all
Always.
of that is so very important.
It
And
is.
to have the heart of a child and the
Yes.
curiosity of a child and to invite that into our lives as well.
We all have to have that in our
We
lives.
all have to have that.
Yes, we do.
It's so true and it's so very important because, we can be very scientific and very rational, and yet science still doesn't explain absolutely everything. There's still some magic underlying. I mean, I don't think you still can look at a snowflake. At least I can't look at a snowflake
I
without
know.
believing in magic. I mean, yes, maybe there's science to explain it, and still that doesn't negate there being magic in the world.
And knowing that there's no two alike, I
Right.
mean, all that just magic.
It's amazing.
It
It's
is.
wonderful, and it's good to embrace that.
Well, we also had a magical rain.
We did have an amazing rain.
We had over 5 inches, like over a 3-day period, and it just soaked in, and it was just wonderful.
Now I see the little babies coming up with all the rain that we've had. It's so exciting. I'm excited to see what native plants come up that we planted.
Well, blooming right now is the iris.
Oh,
and
yes.
A favorite plant of ours.
Yes.
We have lots of iris between us. They're just a gorgeous plant. The rains did knock a few of them down, I noticed, and of course those are the ones we go out and cut and to put on the table.
Yes.
And enjoy that way. But they are just in full bloom.
They're stunning, aren't they?
Yes, I remember my mother calling them the poor man's orchid.
Ah.
Because they almost look like an orchid in many ways.
And the hybrid ones that they're so tall and just the colors are unbelievably stunning, and some of them just glisten in the sunlight so beautifully. But they are very fleeting. One
They
flower
are.
lasts maybe 2 days.
Yes.
And then another bud will come on and bloom.
open
And
them.
so each flower stalk has maybe 4 or 5 buds, and we just enjoy them for a short time. Again, it's one of those seasonal pleasures.
It really is. And having the iris that will bloom early, and then a little bit later, and then even a little bit later. There's like 4 different times that iris will bloom. That is really a fun thing to incorporate.
Yeah, if you have all,
into our
all different kinds, you can
Yes,
stagger the
you
blooms. and
certainly can.
enjoy them the whole
Yes.
season.
And so iris really is my favorite. Yours probably too this time of year.
Yeah, this time of year for sure. Iris are
Yes.
they're gorgeous. And yeah, I always get sucked in because I always think, oh, this time of year, I always order more iris starts because I just love them so much. Yeah.
And share with others.
Yes, that's a wonderful thing about iris.
Yes.
Just like when we talk about daffodils, plant them once and they keep coming up and they make babies. You can share.
More bulbs and more bulbs, or rhizomes,
Yeah.
as they are called.
Yeah, exactly. Pass along plants.
They certainly are. And so what is your favorite flower this spring? Do you have a favorite? Or are they all your favorite? I can go along the edge of the woods where there might be woodland phlox blooming, and all of a sudden that's my favorite flower.
Right, exactly.
So we
They're
do
all
have-
all our favorites.
They're all our favorites, but my very, very favorite probably is the iris, because my mother just loved iris blooming also.
Do you have a favorite variety of iris?
The one I've always enjoyed is batik. Now that's purple and white marbled together, and it's very artistic looking, and I just have always loved it. But there's very old varieties like Babbling Brook. That is an old one that mother
Very old, yeah.
mother loved too, and a few others that she loved, and I have those that she liked too.
I think one of my favorites is I think it's called Comic Opera, and it's a new
Yes.
one, and just the color combination in that I think is absolutely stunning. And if you have a favorite variety, please do share with us too,
Yes.
because we're always interested in learning about more varieties of iris.
There's another one I have not purchased yet, and I need to find it. It's called Mother Earth.
Oh,
And it's a very pretty one. So let us know what your favorite
Yeah.
spring flower is. We'd love to know, and maybe tell us why it is. if you have
Absolutely.
one. Yes. Well, one of the things coming up here at the shop is our classes. We'll be starting our
Yes.
in-person classes here.
We're bringing in some
starting-
guest teachers.
Yes, we are. And the first one is a market basket. It is a wonderful basket. You actually will have your choice of colors to put in. I can see it as a perfect little basket to take out to the garden, to take to a farmer's market,
Oh,
to
yeah.
put my sewing materials in when I come to stitching group, any of those kind of things. This is something I've always loved doing or wanting to do more of, is making baskets. And so this is the first one. It's a basic one. And from the basic class, you'll be able to take 3 more classes after this if you've had the basics one. I hope you'll join us for class. Be sure to take a peek at that. They'll fill up quickly, I'll guarantee that.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. And the next one that too will be filling up quickly because we always have lots of requests for this class. And it is on making little baskets with pine needles. Now this is the basic one again where you learn the techniques. This is made with a slice of a walnut, black walnut in here, and the rest of these are pine needles. So this is a sweet little basket that I can lay things in my desk or whatever. And then from this you make lots more after that. And I have made a lots more after that.
Yeah, that's one. It's that coiling technique, right?
Yes, yes. And so this will be coming available. This will be an August class, I believe. So be sure to look for that and get in on the class because when the class is full, that's it.
Yep. 2 different instructors coming to teach a
Yes.
couple of really wonderful basket making classes. And, once again, embracing those ancestral skills
Yes.
that all of our ancestors, at least someone in their village, knew how to weave baskets because that was a necessity at one point.
You can get eggs. You could gather eggs without a basket.
Right.
And so on. Yes. I'd like to show a mat that I made a few years back that I have really enjoyed. It's called Herbs. And this is, since it's Herb Week, National Herb Week, I wanted to show this. It has dandelions on it. These are the dandelions. Look at the little fluff of it. It's getting ready to blow its little weeds away. There's a dragonfly also on it. So it's just a fun one that is appropriate for this time of year.
Beautiful, as always.
Oh, and they're so much fun to make. It's also time to read the May chapter
Yes.
in the book.
Every year, read
It
this
is.
chapter for the month.
And I might mention that some of the essays in this one, besides the regular essays that we have in every month, is called Plentiful Plantain,
Yay,
Magical
plantain.
Yarrow,
Ooh.
Children in Nature, Collecting Birdhouses, Jenny Wren. Oh, and she's outside my window again, just singing all day. I guess it's really the male that sings.
It is the male that sings, but they are
And
wonderful.
He's enticing her to come inspect that birdhouse, and they usually find a home right there on my back porch normally. But this one happens to be on the front porch, so it'll be really interesting if they build it. And then from the May chapter, I'd like to close with this little quote. It's by Ruth Ernest. It says, "Hope, patience, and work. These are the 3 graces of spring."
Too true.
Very
Too true.
Very true. And so I plan to see you next week.
Good earth blessings to you.